There is a moment early in Final Fantasy IX, barely a few minutes in, when the camera lingers on a small black mage standing silently in Alexandria. A swirl of activity surrounds them: laughter, music, a bustling crowd chasing the next distraction. But Vivi isn't moving. His yellow eyes peer from beneath a drooping hat, lost in a silence only he can hear. And in that quiet, a question takes root. Who am I? Why was I created? And what happens to me when I stop? We as the player don't know that when we first play the game, but I believe these are the thoughts that cloud little Vivi's mind. Vivi is a prototype, a manufactured being, a weapon really, created in the Black Mage factory beneath the mists of the village of Dali. Vivi is a mistake that wandered away. And yet he's also a child. He trips when he runs. He stammers when he speaks. He gets overwhelmed in crowds and apologizes for his very existence. But what makes Vivi unforgettable isn't his magic. It's the way his soul pushes through artificial design. The Black Mages were made to fight. Vivi was also made to fight, but ended up choosing to feel. Vivi originally fell out of a cargo ship and tumbled to the earth below. He was found and picked up and raised by Quan, who became his surrogate grandpa. Quan sparked a curiosity inside of Vivi, and after Vivi's grandpa died, he set out to discover the world and himself. In a way, it echoes the old story of Pinocchio, right? A creation given form, but not yet a real boy. He's not carved from wood, but made of mist and magic. And like Pinocchio, Vivi's journey is one of transformation, not of body, but of soul. Not to become human, but to become alive. His journey begins with so much wonder, but that wonder is quickly pierced by knowledge. When he discovers the truth that he is one of many, that his people are just mass-produced, that they begin to stop. After a short time, he begins to crack beneath the weight of something ancient and human. The weight of mortality. What do you do when you learn you are finite? What does it mean to be alive if you were never born in the first place? What's the point of a story that ends so soon? These are the questions Vivi carries through the game like an invisible wound. In many ways, his existential crisis is the heart of Final Fantasy IX. A lot of players connect with Vivi the most and his story more than even the main plot lines. The grand politics of Alexandria, the twisted ego of Kuja, the fate of Gaia, all of it swirls around this tiny mage's quiet war within himself. There's something deeply tragic about Vivi's situation. But what makes his arc beautiful is that he doesn't stop at despair. Vivi doesn't turn cold or cynical. He doesn't harden like Steiner or lash out like Amarant. Instead, he keeps searching for friendship, for truth, for a reason to just keep going. Like Pinocchio before him, Vivi longs to prove that he's more than the sum of his parts. Not through obedience or transformation, but through compassion, through courage, and through choice. He looks death in the face and chooses kindness. Throughout Final Fantasy IX, Vivi learns that he's not alone. In fact, other Black Mages have fled the factory where he was born. Some build a village, some try to understand time, some even try to raise a chocobo. And like him, they all fear stopping. But they also teach him something profound. That meaning isn't something you're built with, it's something you create. Vivi comes to understand that life isn't measured in hours, it's measured in the impact you leave behind, in the memories you make, in the people you love, in the moments you share. And that realization, small, quiet, but overwhelming, becomes his final spell. In the ending of the game, Zidane returns, the group reunites. But Vivi isn't really among them. His voice, however, echoes through narration. Addressed to his son or perhaps sons, little black mages who wear his hat and carry his familiar spark. And with that, the truth becomes clear. Vivi didn't stop. He lived, he changed, and he left something behind. Vivi is perhaps the most emotionally rich character in the Final Fantasy series because he speaks to something primal within all of us. The desire to matter, the fear of being forgotten, the question of what it means to have a soul in a world that reduces you to function. He is childlike, but not because he's weak, but because he's brave enough to ask questions most adults run from. And in a world built on artifice, mist machines, kingdoms of illusion, manufactured gods, Vivi's vulnerability is the most real thing of all. Like Pinocchio, he doesn't earn his soul by proving himself useful to others. He earns it by being honest with himself, by loving without expectation, by asking again and again and again what it means to be real. In the end, Final Fantasy IX reminds us that stories do end, that people fade, that even those who burn bright will one day flicker out. But Vivi teaches us that a short life can still be a good one. To love, to wonder, to ask hard questions, and still choose gentleness. This is how we rebel against our own ending, not with bitterness, but with grace. He's more than a black mage. He is more than a weapon. And he is more than a child. He found meaning not in what he was made for, but in what he chose to be. These are more than just characters. They're more than just games to me. They're modern myths. They echo our fears, our hopes, and our need to find meaning in a fleeting world. And if Vivi meant something or anything to you, you already understand, really. So if you like everyone's bestest boy, consider liking, subbing, all that good stuff to hear more about the myths, the legends, the lore behind our favorite games and characters. Was Vivi your favorite part of Final Fantasy IX? Of course, I wanted to save Gaia and defeat Kuja and all different kinds of stuff, but really I just wanted to see Vivi happy at the end of the day. And I think I'm not alone in that. I appreciate you guys watching. Have an amazing day, and God bless.